From being Hollywood's most handsome unemployed man to having just the right kind of vibe to get his license to kill, here's why Henry Cavill should be the next Agent 007. For starters, he's got a pretty free schedule. Now that the new DC co-presidents James Gunn and Peter Safran felt that they need a younger star, Cavill is as free as a bird. The sad part is that he was so excited to be back as the Man of Steel after his post-credits scene in Black Adam that he decided to quit his role as Geralt of Rivia in the Witcher series on Netflix. Some fans just couldn't imagine what the English actor had gotten himself into with that decision. I mean, come on, it's the DCEU. Has anything ever been stable in that franchise? So unlike the other British actors in Hollywood, Henry is available to be cast as the new James Bond after Daniel Craig retired from the role. Speaking of, let's take a look at the other fan cast for Agent 007, most of which are busier than Cavill, like Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's everyone's biggest pick for the character. He's scheduled to appear in the titular role in Marvel's Kraven the Hunter in 2023, along with the Fall Guy alongside Ryan Gosling in 2024. And who can forget the upcoming remake of Nosferatu by Robert Eggers, which also stars Bill Skarsgård and Nicholas Hoult, who are both eyed for the new Bond and have packed schedules ahead of them. Other picks include Michael Fassbender, Regé-Jean Page, Richard Madden, and a lot more, but they're all either too young, too old, or just don't have enough experience in this particular genre of blockbusters. And then we have Tom Hardy, who's usually brought up in the conversation whenever talking about Henry as Bond. Now, the Venom actor is a terrific choice for the role. The only problem is his height. Hardy stands at 5'7" while Henry's around 6 foot tall. And though stuff like that doesn't really matter as long as the actor delivers a compelling performance, it still gives Cavill the upper hand. Height isn't the only thing he has on his deck. The Superman actor also has the physique, chiseled face, age, and a lot of other adjectives I'd use to describe the perfect man. I mean, when you think of the James Bond, what better person can you think of than a former superhero? Daniel Craig gave the role a whole new meaning, no doubt about that, but I think it's time for a fresh new British actor to fill in the shoes. Cavill already had to hang up the cape because Gunn wanted a younger actor, and now he's the perfect age to play the agent. It's safe to say the guy has charm, and a lot of it. At just 39, he still has a long way to go. While Craig, who retired at 53, took nearly 15 years to appear in 5 of the spy thrillers. A lot of fans think that actors should start with a mainstream franchise like the DCEU, and if one wishes to stay with blockbusters in the long term, Henry would fit perfectly in the 007 series. Pierce Brosnan has already starred as Bond and moved to DC in Black Adam as Dr. Fate. Sure, that role may not have a future because of the universe's current situation, such as inconsistent storytelling and creative differences. But if Brosnan can juggle 2 franchises in his career, why can't Kal-El? If he wants the role, he should at least audition for it, right? Well, believe it or not, Cavill was one of the top contenders to play Bond in 2006. In Josh Horowitz's Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, the Witcher actor revealed that he gave it a shot for Casino Royale, and he was this close to getting the part. Back then, the English actor was 23 years old, while his competitor was 38, which is 1 year younger from Henry's current age. Do the math. Do you need a bigger sign than this? Unfortunately, the 39-year-old was too young at the time and lacked the experience and popularity, which should have given him the advantage back then. But I'll get into those details in just a bit. When he appeared in the podcast, he said that he was grateful that he didn't get the job, because Daniel did a tremendous job and was praised by Horowitz's guest. Sources say that another reason why Henry didn't get the role was because he was too chubby. The person who made the judgment probably fractured their jaw after seeing what the star looked like in Man of Steel, just 7 years after he lost the Royale gig. It's been over a decade since 2006, and the actor has had plenty of experience in a wide variety of genres. Just look at him in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., another classic spy movie by the one and only Guy Ritchie. Though it was a box office flop, it still proved that Cavill has all the requirements needed to portray the traditional James Bond. In the film, he stars as a charming yet enigmatic CIA agent, Napoleon Solo. This character had so much poise and confidence, it was hard not to imagine him in a slick tux as a secret agent. Well, that's kinda what Solo was in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Weird how every spy thriller follows the same premise, huh? Henry was stunning in the movie, both in looks and personality. with his controlled aggression and dry humor, one that would be expected from 007. So to all the casting directors watching this, Cavill finally embodies the veteran spy's demeanor, and it's just so natural. Now let's get serious for a second. What are the chances of him starring in the 26th film? Another question is, will there be another James Bond movie? Since this saga has been ongoing for like 60 years, I don't think they plan on putting a halt to the franchise anytime soon. The actor not being a part of the DC universe or The Witcher does open a lot of doors for him. But this is where his popularity comes into play. Throughout all these years, every star introduced as 007 has been relatively unknown. Henry being in a major franchise, a hit Netflix duology, and a series based on a world-famous video game kinda defeats the purpose of bringing in new talent to the 6-decade-long legacy, right? Plus, Aaron Taylor Johnson is being heavily eyed for the role. I mean, he's being eyed so hard, the casting directors will probably need to visit an optician soon. Sorry to burst your bubble, but not every franchise is like a certain superhero one that relies on fan cast to keep them relevant. Cavill is a choice of many fans for the James Bond movies, and the more he's requested, the less likely are the chances of him getting the role. With the facts out of the way, has the man of the hour said anything about being in the next installment of the franchise? When asked about taking the mantle that Daniel Craig has left vacant, he said that he's still up for having the conversation, despite his busy schedule. Henry also talked about the possibility of history repeating itself, where he might not get the role and lose it to someone else like he did for Casino Royale. The Man of Steel actor said he'd still look forward to what James Bond filmmakers Barbara Broccoli and Mike G. Wilson have in store. Because in the end, the man is a huge nerd of geek culture, and this includes The British Spy. Then again, with how popular and beloved Cavill has gotten over the year, it's just too famous for the under-the-radar choices for the main lead in the series. Maybe Broccoli and Wilson will show some empathy and reconsider knowing the top contender for the role has been a fan for as long as anyone can remember. There's nothing wrong with being a little optimistic, though. If he's chosen to play the role of Bond, then cue the celebrations. If all else fails, fans still have his upcoming project, which can easily be mistaken for a James Bond film. Cavill stars in The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. And before you ask, yes, it's another Guy Ritchie movie. It's safe to say that this will be as 007-y as it gets. The action drama is based on the 2015 book by Damian Lewis, a true story about a secret combat organization found by Winston Churchill during the Second World War. The fighters employ an ungentlemanly warfare against the Nazis and change the course of the war, which in turn gives birth to modern black operations. If you've seen some of Ritchie's previous work, you know that the director can do no wrong, especially when it involves secret missions, spies, and so much charismatic action. The cast includes not one, not two, but three other choices on the role of James Bond. Alan Richardson and Henry Golding will team up with the Superman actor to give another Ritchie classic with more talent like Eiza Gonzalez, Alex Pettyfer, and Babs Olasana joining the ensemble. Henry's Instagram gives us the impression that this movie is going to be executed in a style like we've never seen before. While the director's account shared a post thanking the cast and crew after wrapping up filming in Turkey on the 24th of April, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is set to hit theaters sometime in 2024. And to some, it's as exciting as the 26th film of the British Spy's legacy. So from starring as a discount James Bond to being Hollywood's most unemployed man, this was why Henry Cavill should be the next Agent 007.